Thank you all so much for joining me today for another episode of Overcoming Obstacles with Jada Neil James here on Intellectual Radio. I am always super excited to be joining you all today, this first day of the third month already. Can't believe it. It's going so fast. We talked about how 2019 went super fast, but we will soon be entering the second quarter already of 2020. So we got to make sure that we are on the right path. Yes, this is the first Sunday. And on the first Sunday, what we always do is we talk about overcoming obstacles in society, which could cover a multitude of topics. But today I am joined by my in studio guest, the phenomenal Terrell, and we are going to be talking all things finances today. So Carol and I, we did have a brief phone conversation a little earlier today. And when I tell you, she got me super excited to get it together. I mean, I promise you, we'll probably have to do a part two on this conversation, but she's going to introduce herself in 1 minute. But I was just excited to get Carol on the show because this is such an important topic to discuss. Yet it is not one that we are always so open to discussing. So yesterday, I made a post on Facebook that said, what is something you wish you had been taught about money and financial literacy? There were some great comments, such as, I'm going to read off a few. One person said, I wish I had been taught that money is made to bring more money to you. Someone else said to learn how to budget at an early age and save instead of spend. Someone else said to pay myself first before helping others, and it's okay to say no. Someone else said that having a college degree isn't the only way to make money. That's true. And your credit means everything, and they put everything in all caps. So all these comments, they did hit home with me because I just agreed with everything that people were posting and commenting. Finances have always been a soft spot with me just because it's like I understand how important it is to be financially literate and money smart, but I know there are just so many things that I don't know.
Right.
So that's why we have Miss Carol Terrell in the building with us today. So Carol, please introduce yourself to the listeners and viewers. Tell us who you are and what you do.
Okay. My name is Carol Terrell. I'm the owner of Onyx Capital Enterprise. I am a financial coach and a credit coach. I don't use credit specialist or credit repair person because I'm actually coaching you through your process. I've been in business doing credit for 9 years. I'm a mother of 3 daughters, grandmother of 3 grandsons. My story goes back to having 800 credit scores and then becoming homeless, not once, but twice. And when you get in that place, you figure things out. Like you either going to figure things out or you're going to just stay in that place. And I'm not a stay in that place person. So that's how I started the business, helping friends and family. But along the way, it was just kind of a hobby. But then I realized it was something I was really purposed and called to do, but also became so passionate that helping the community and helping others not get in that space that I was in because I didn't know any better.
Awesome. So now you heard some of those comments that I was reading from my Facebook post. Mm-hmm. Which one resonated with you the most?
The budgeting, which is called the 50-30-20 rule. And if you have that in place, that thing will keep you on point, balanced, and my words I use, fostering wise decision making.
Okay, so now you're going to have to explain the 50-30-20 rule. Yes, that's please.
Correct. So the 50-30-20 rule, which we in the world know as budgeting, the 50-30-20 rule, that's it. It's 50% of your after-tax income are your needs. So you think of after taxes, my income, 50% of that goes to my required needs, my car note, my car insurance, food, lights, and so forth. The 30% is what we call like our lifestyle. That's set aside for, hey, things you want to do. And 20% is savings. And I am really strategic with my clients on making sure that 30% is lowered, because why are we spending so much in a need on all of this stuff? And then when you get to the 20% savings, it's nothing there. So that's why that rule is so important. And a lot of us say, oh, I budget or I have a budget. Is it physical on paper in a visual spot? It needs to be written down and not in your head. Another thing that I noticed in the budgets, a lot of people are just incorporating those things like the household things in the cars. They're not incorporating the bills you create outside of that. That becomes part of your 50%. You've created a bill that has to be paid. It now goes over into that 50%. So that is like, for me, that's like the prime thing with helping people with their credit and finances. We have to talk about that. Why did you get here and mess up something in your financial? You weren't on point there. So let's get to the root of the problem.
And I know and so many of the comments people were talking about budgeting and saving, just knowing that if someone had taught me or if someone had told me, and it kind of made me think about the generational curses that we are, sometimes subject to, just because our parents probably didn't teach us because no one taught them.
Correct.
And no one taught them. And we as African Americans, a lot of us, many of us, we don't come from generational wealth.
Correct.
Right? Correct. So our ancestors were enslaved or sharecroppers or worked on plantations or what have you. So we don't come from the Sam Walmarts and those people who created things and patented them and grew them into multi-million-dollar companies. We don't come from that. A lot of many of us, and so we aren't taught about wealth.
Correct. And one thing I'll say, Jada, in regards to that is, yes, we come from those generational curses, but a lot of my clients will say, I make them take ownership, because no longer say it's because of my mom. I'm grown now, and nothing that I'm doing right now is because of my mother. I know better. I know that I should be doing these things. So stop putting it on generational curses, because when you get beyond a certain age and you you're an adult and you have responsibility, become a steward over your own responsibility and stop saying, well, they didn't show me or they didn't show me. Take initiative and figure it out, or show yourself and become a steward over your own decisions, the things that you're doing. Are you creating legacy or are you creating debt? Are you hindering your own lifestyle? And in addition, who comes behind you? Your children, your children's children. So you stop at some point making bad decisions.
Absolutely. I totally agree. Just because, like I said about myself, I know there's better. So I have to seek those resources. I have to try to go out and figure this thing out while I'm here, because I do want to leave a legacy for my children. So I definitely agree with that. This is some awesome stuff for anyone that may just be tuning in and joining us. We're just getting started, but I want to thank you all for listening to or watching Overcoming Obstacles with Jada Tennille James here on Intellectual Radio. I have in the studio with me Miss Carol Terrell, who is a financial consultant, talking all things finances with us today. So Carol, let's talk credit.
Yes.
Let's talk credit. Some of these other comments were, I wish someone had taught me how to build credit and how to not jack it up. And I'm quoting. These are quotes. So some of y'all that left the comment. I wish someone had taught me how to get a major credit card and not store cards.
Okay.
And the importance of credit and the vulture credit card companies that target college students.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All things I talk about.
We know. So let's talk credit, Carol. What's I don't know, you can kind of start the conversation, but I know that you talked about with me personal credit and business credit.
Correct.
So I don't know where you want to start this conversation with credit. I don't know how you started, but wherever you want to begin.
So I'm gonna target that first question where the young lady or gentleman said they wish someone had taught them how to build their credit. And that's one of the things that became part of as I transitioned to this, consulting. That's important. Half the people when I walk in the room and I ask them, can they read their credit report? They can't. And it's like and that score, that will that has those numbers in it, that scores you, they don't even understand. So for me, it's like, how can I do somebody's credit but not educate you so we don't get back here? That, like, are you looking at the personal information? Are you making sure everything on that report looks accurate? Are you, understanding that score? Like ours, we're based off of payment history and utilization. Those are the highest two. And guess what most people don't do? They eat, oh, I was late on this payment. Well, you really hurt yourself 35% by doing that. Or I have all these credit cards and I'm utilizing all of them. Now I'm over 30%. Like it's not helping you understand how to build your credit. It's helping you understand how do I utilize it and not put myself in a deficit or a debt situation because now I just want to pay the minimum payment back. So that's like that's really big. So I spend a lot of time helping my clients. They can't just come to me and say, hey, I need my credit fixed. I'm gone. No, you're a part of this because we're going to get to the root of why we're here in the first place. Like, this is what you did. So what in your mindset, or what tools didn't you have to equip you to do it the right way? And that's what I always say now. Let's give you the tools. If I give you the tools to put in your toolbox, when you're finished with me, you have those resources to make sure that you're successful along the way. And it's just not everybody wants a credit card. I want to go spend this, but you don't even have a clue. I tell people, if you didn't have a credit card on today, you would have to walk into the store with cash money. You have the cash money, create a savings account that's a bills account. Have your credit card, utilize the credit card, and when that statement comes, go into that bill account, which you've already put the money aside, and pay your bill. I have all my clients on automatic payment because you get so many bills, life gets hectic, you may forget. I've been on auto pay on anything for the last 9 years. Out of sight, out of mind. Two reasons. One, you're disciplined. It's on auto pay. I know that better be in my bank account because it's coming out on such and such a day. Two, if for some reason you might have got busy, death in the family, people forget about things. Now you're on auto pay. If you have to call that company, if something goes wrong, they can look at your history and say, this person's been on auto pay. They're more likely to help you remove that late payment if it hits. If you're set up and they have a trend of your history, oh, this person's been on auto pay. What happened here? They missed the payment or whatever the case is. And it's not all the time, but it's teaching you to foster wise decision making. You have that bill, and a lot of people are like, well, I don't want to pay it on that day. Well, it's due on that day. It's not like your light bill, they'll give you some lenience, but guess what? The light bill and the gas bill, they don't report on your credit the positive, but the moment you late and they decide that they need to do a disconnect, it's going on your bill. So why not set yourself up and say, these are part of the things I've created. It's part of my 50% budget. I need to be on auto pay and making sure this stuff is taken care of.
Okay, you given us a lot. So I know, um, like my mom, she's not a big fan of auto pay. She old school. She like, they're not going in my account. I'm not giving nobody all this permission to go in my account. So what? I don't know if you run into those type of walls. What do we suggest, or is there a suggestion for someone who says, no, I don't like auto pay. I don't like the fact that they have access to my account. Is there anything that you do to sort of help ease those types of doubts?
Yes, because guess what? Everything that we're connected to, they have access to. So your company that you owe the bill to have access to your bank account auto pay. But guess what? When you go online and order something, somebody else in the black world has access to your stuff too. Which one do you choose? Identity theft, or I'm gonna pay my bill? Because every time we put ourselves online, your emails, you do something online, guess what? You're still accessible that way. You have people out here taking our identities at that card. So you rather shop online and put your card there, but not put your bill on auto pay. It doesn't make sense. So I use those type of strategies and techniques with them. Sometimes people don't go right away. It's not until prime example. I have a client right now. He's very diligent. Put himself on auto pay, but he missed one number on the bank account. They will not take that late payment back. Now I've been working hard to get him where he needed to get scores all the way in the 730s. It dropped him to 5. 500 and something.
Oh.
We can't correct. Now we have to start this building process. So when that happens, now reality sets in, and I always tell people, look, I'm trying to put you ahead of the situation. This is like if you come to me, I'm teaching you financial etiquette. So let's get this in order so we don't have these what ifs or these situations. Because now when you get a late payment, that thing, the higher your score is, oh my God, it could take up to, like if you're in the 800s, it will take either 150, 200 for that one late payment. It's worse than a bankruptcy or a collections account. So why would I don't want my clients to get in that situation. So it's like giving them all those tools. Do you want this to happen? Because we've worked so hard to get you here for that house. And then you miss a payment and all of that has went down the drain. So you have to kind of put it on their mind. And everything we do in life is mindset change. We've been conditioned from a younger age. If you're not willing to change your mind holistically about finances, is the prime thing in the world. You don't have it. It's reasons marriages are broken up. If you are not ready to make a change holistically in your mindset with this thing, because this thing will either make you or break you, we want to be the lenders, not the borrowers. So I just start talking like that. Like I have to really get in their hair and say, what are you thinking? Like, what are you thinking? And let me show you the outcome of that thought process as opposed to this
See, and I'm sitting here like, oh my gosh, this is so stressful. Right?
one.
Like, I can only imagine what you deal with um, in trying to help someone create a shift in their mindset because we are conditioned to think a certain way. We're conditioned to believe certain things.
Mhm.
So I can only imagine the pressure that you have to change all that and get someone to where you know they need to be, but
Right.
they can't quite see
Right.
themselves there yet.
Mhm.
So that's work, and I totally get that. You talked about working with your client, like really guiding them and giving them the tools for their toolbox.
Mhm.
Let's talk a little bit more about that because I've done the creditrepair.com and I've
Mhm.
done the Lexington Law and I've done those things.
Mhm.
They didn't work
Okay.
for me.
And I'll just tell you probably why. And it's no, I'm not discrediting any
Right. And
companies.
I'm pretty sure, maybe somebody works for them. I don't know. I'm not
Right.
here
Okay.
to down those companies or anything, but I'm just talking from personal experience.
And
I paid those people
mhm.
to help me repair my credit,
Uh-huh.
and it did not work for me. What I felt like was happening, and I think what I was missing was what you said. There was no interaction. There was no assistance.
Mhm.
I felt like they were just hounding my creditors.
And even that, because if you think with those companies, they put you on a monthly payment plan, and it'll take them 2 or 3 years. It does not take you 2 or 3 years to repair my credit. So for me, what I feel like those type of companies are in it for the quantity, the money, not the quality of the client. So that's what people like. I have so many people come to me like, I went through this person, I stopped it, I didn't see no results. And it's like anytime, and I do payment plans. But guess what? If my payment plan is 12 months, my client's finished in 6 months. They're getting financial coaching over that 12 months. So it's never to take, it does not take that long. Some cases, yes, I've gone 9 months. Some cases I've gone 12 months, but that depends on my clients. If you don't want to be an active part of this process and I have to chase you down for things I need, then yes, your process is going to be stagnant. But the reoccurring payment thing is, and I'll tell you kind of how that works. The bureaus have 30 to 60 days to respond to a letter they receive. If you're not getting a letter, then usually you won't get them for about 45 or 60 days. They're going to take a month, a gap in between that they're not even working because they're waiting for a response. My clients are on credit monitoring. You are required to be on it because I have people all over, like all over the world, and I can't get everybody's mail. So every 30 days, I can refresh your monitoring system and look at all three reports and see what has been removed or what has not been removed and follow up on my client bill. I need to keep moving. But other companies, and you could probably attest to this, did not say to you, hey, I need this, I need that, or they're following up. you at this gap and trying to figure out, well, I'm still making payments, but in between months, there's no working until so they can get some feedback.
There were even things that were on my credit report that I had paid, but they were still there.
Mm,
And I wanted those removed.
right.
No help there. So I was just like, what am I paying you for? $110, $115 a month. What? Why?
It's a lot of work. As you can see, it is a great deal of work. There are people who come to me and they've tried it themselves, and so I just say, you're listening to me. It is a lot of work, and this is something that you truly, truly, truly have to be passionate about. That's why I say I'm not anybody's credit specialist or anybody's advisor. I am your coach, and with a coach, you get somebody who cheers you on through this process, who pumps you up and say, great job, you did that. Somebody who's communicating with you. Where are you at in this process? Are you doing this? And one thing about me, I'm a tough love coach. So if I pull you 30 days later and I told you when I started, you do not do this, and I see it, oh, you're getting a call. You're gonna get a call. Why are you doing this? Because you're stagnating the process. If you come to me with a goal or a target, it is my job to get you to the target. And I always say to my clients, your money should be gold, just like my time is gold. So if you're paying me to do a job, don't look for a coach that's going to babysit you or pat you on the back. No, I'm going to stay with my foot in your back to make sure we reach the goal to help you become the master of your destiny. We are creating legacy here. This is beyond us right now. It's beyond what comes behind us. And if we don't get it right now, how can our kids get it right? What are we setting them up for? How can our grandkids get it right? And I just said on the way here to my 14-year-old, I said that song that Beyonce and Jay-Z has out called Boss. In that song, she says, my great, great, great grandchildren are already rich. They'll be on the Forbes list. That's my mindset. I'm not looking like $1 million in person. I want $1 million mindset. And I want my clients to have $1 million mindset. And with that, I don't mean, oh, the $1 million houses or the $1 million cars. No, I want where I'm creating wealth with options where you can be afforded to walk in anywhere and say yes or no. Then you have people chasing you like, man, what's going on? That's $1 million mindset. When I set you up to create wealth with options, joy, peace, whatever that comes with, because when you financially broke, your peace is broke. When you are financially broke, your joy is broke. When you're financially broke, your house, if you're married, your children are broken because you can't function. So creating wealth with options is beyond money, cars, houses. It's the holistic aspect of it.
Yeah. So it to me, what I'm gathering is, and maybe other people are starting to see it too, that credit repair is not just raising your credit score.
Mhm.
It's as you are saying, it's a way that I have to start thinking, and because I think that way, I live that way. This
Correct.
has to be my belief system
Mhm. Yeah.
in order for this to work the way I want it to work.
Absolutely. And I mean, credit is, you already know, this thing is tied to us in the world, meaning you could be up for promotion on the job and be very well the most qualified. A lot of people think that their credit is not poor because you don't see a hard pull. You don't see, guess what? There's a section on your credit report that people don't know about where it says inquiries and then inquiries only seen to you. Inquiries only seen to you mean they still checked you to see if you were credible. It just didn't hurt your credit when they checked you. So these are the things I teach. I be like, understand this credit report, even in the business aspect, and not to go too much in it. You hear people saying, "Oh, you can get this and you can get this with your EIN number." Yes, you can, but do understand when you register your EIN number, you got to give your social so they still connected to you. People don't talk about that. Well, I got it under my EIN. You may have not gotten a hard pull, but go down your credit report and look at those things only you can see and see what those companies are and if you ever applied. Yes, they did a soft pull because guess what? When you give them your EIN, your social is connected to it. Our social identifies us. So, like all the people, oh, I can help you do it. Yeah, you can, but you better know that they still can reference your personal. And if you raggedy over here, nobody's trusting you to run a business or oversee employees or money if you can't even get your personal life in order. And for me, I wouldn't even want to be a business owner or walk around here saying I'm a CEO when I can't even be the CEO of this little part, my life, my personal credit. And I tell my clients, people come to me, people go to other people, but I want to give you enough information that if somebody's telling you they can do this, all these things for your credit, ask them to show you this. Nobody has to ask me. Every seminar, every event I go into, I'm pulling my credit. I'm making sure that I have it dated. This is me, and I've done the work. You're not seeing no reds. You're not seeing high utilization or what have you. Seeing low balances on my account and so forth. I know how to work this credit thing for my score. So I always tell them, well, I gave it to so and so, or did you check these person's resources? Because anybody can go online and post a testimony. Is it real? We have to start being stewards of over everything we do, and especially in this finance. If you're going to trust somebody to do your credit, show me your credit. Because many people operating credit repair companies are living off their credit cards. They're riding around all fancy. Their credit scores. I've had people call me and say, "I do credit, but I need a trade line." Why? Well, let me see your credit. How dare you tell me you're doing credit with your credit looking like this? Like, shame on you to touch somebody else's credit when you haven't even done the work to get your own stuff in order.
So let's talk a little bit about this vocabulary. You are giving us some amazing information. I hope everybody has their pens and notebooks out because Carol, you just hit me with some vocabulary that I wasn't familiar with. You mentioned trade lines.
Correct.
So clear that up for me and the audience what trade lines are.
Okay, trade lines are just what's on your credit cards, your car loans, any loans you take out from banks, mortgages, what else? Retail cards, any of those things are trade lines. I call they're trade lines. That's what they're known in the world. We just know them as credit cards, or my mortgage account. Those are trade lines. So you have to have, when we start building our credit, all of these things come into place. When you get that first credit card, it may be $200. Um, you're starting to build a credit history with that. Even with the student loans, they put that on your credit. Don't miss a beat. If you're not paying, put it in deferment, because they are reporting every month. And once they make that late payment, that messes with your credit because it's now part of your credit. It's a part of your accounts on your credit history. So that's what trade lines are. The various things that fall on your credit report that build you up as a credible person in the credit world.
Okay. Okay. So listen, you all are learning today. If you like me, I'm writing stuff down. I'm interviewing and writing at the same time because these are some obstacles that we have to overcome. And I'm just speaking from personal experience. I want to thank everyone that has been listening to Overcoming Obstacles with Jada Tennille James here on Intellectual Radio. And today I do have in the studio with me financial consultant Carol Terrell, who has been schooling us on all things finances today. I know she has mentioned some things that you did not know about. You didn't know about those soft inquiries. You didn't know about those, but that don't necessarily affect your credit, but they have looked at your credit. So many comments from my post yesterday just said, I'm saying, what is it that you thought, what is it that you wish someone had taught you? And a lot of people just said everything, just everything. And like, it's just so many of us that we just don't even have a clue where to start.
Right.
Where do we start? How to maintain or how to make money work for us?
Right.
So during our conversation earlier, you mentioned something about a change that's happening with credit scores.
Yes.
Can you speak to the audience about that?
Yes, I'm definitely going to speak to the audience. So June 2020, we will switch from a FICO scoring system 9 to a FICO scoring system 10. And with that, that's the 10 is going to be so extenuating, like really dinging our scores if you fall into these parameters. So within the last 24 plus months, if you have any late payments, or within the last 24 months plus, if you're overutilizing 30 over that 30% market of those credit cards, and if you've ever taken out a loan. So some of us get desperate, you can't get approved through your Bank of America's Chase, so we'll go to places like One Main and places like that. Those are high risk loans. If you have any of those loans on your account, you will be hit in all three of those areas, um, because they're looking at it, and that system is going to score that. So you can get hit with as low as 20 points. It says 20 points, but I tell my clients the higher your score is, the more they're going to ding you. So don't just look at the 20 point, and 20 points is a lot. So it's not out there. Nobody's talking about this. Nobody's saying, hey, this is going to happen to prepare for what's going to happen. So I've been like calling my clients like, hey, where we at in the process? You getting taxes, I need you to start paying the credit cards off, because we keep those credit card accounts. You have to have a mix of credit to get mortgages and stuff. So I need you to make a shift in your mind as what you're going to do with that, and let's pay down the debt. And many of them are doing it, because this thing is going to be like what I call the real estate upset in 2008, because people don't know, they're not prepared, and all of a sudden when June hit and that scoring system rolled out, and every 30 days our scores are refreshed, and you are alerted, Credit Karma, whatever that is, that you've had this decrease, everybody's going to be like, what just happened? Nobody's preparing for this. And the thing is, how do we help you prepare? Get ahead of the game. I'm telling you it's going to happen. So figure out what you're going to do and get ahead of that thing. I mean, stop using these cards and putting minimal payments, because you are going to be hit. And this deficit is going to affect, out of 110 billion people, it's said to affect 45 billion. We getting close to almost half. That's a lot of people that are not even aware of this.
Absolutely, yes.
It will not affect you in the mortgage world, because they're on a scoring system, FICO 4 or 5. So that's the only good thing. You can still get a mortgage, but
See, we don't even know what these systems are.
it's like 200 different FICO scoring systems.
Oh.
And how they rate us in different areas. So the car lot. So you know how sometimes you go somewhere and they say, well, your score is here, this over here, and it's some over there. It's because they're pulling from different parameters of how they range you to get you approved. So it's all these systems they can pull from, like that give you a different score. And that's when people say, oh, Credit Karma. Don't tell me about Credit Karma. First of all, if you haven't invested in credit monitoring, because Credit Karma it's accurate, but it's going to always be behind the game. It's not giving you all your bureaus, and everybody's in a frenzy. Like, well, over here it says this, and over here it says this. Are you looking at a FICO score or your overall credit score? Like, so those things matter, and that's why I say when people reach out to people for credit repair help, they need to talk like that. They need to be telling you this stuff, and if they're not telling you this is what they're going to educate you and prepare you for, you may not want to go with that person, because credit is much bigger than just clean my credit and send me back. It's all of these things I'm talking about that's going to ground you and make you credible to banks.
And it's all these things that you're talking about that makes me so, we have Phenomenal Black Woman. Phenomenal Black Woman is over 43,000 women strong. We are constantly growing. It's amazing. I sit in awe of what God has done with Phenomenal Black Woman. But we get those posts all the time. My admin, shout out to my admin. They probably doing something right now, because something's always going on in the group. But we get those posts all the time. Inbox me if you want me to fix your credit, and I delete them because I don't trust them all the time.
With me, you'll never get that. Like, and I think I told you, as I said, I've always been so I always tell people I'm like that silent killer. I work behind the scenes. I am not out soliciting for you to come pay me to do your credit. Every bit of work that I've done has been by word of mouth, actual results. People who are in their homes, people who have gotten the things they wanted, and they're still there, like literally still here, and we're still getting things right, and we're not failing anymore. So I'm not one that's gonna post, I could do your credit. What I will post is when I'm throwing events, because it is like when I say my being a steward over who you talk to, start listening. Stop being quick to release your money. Listen. When people know about credit, ask them about trade lines, because that's very important. Like, even when somebody gets a trade line from me, it's strategy in what trade line goes on that person's credit. You just can't buy a trade line and put it on somebody's credit. So it's so much strategy in this credit repair process, not for me, for you guys, like for the consumers, to make sure what I'm doing is going to get you to the end result, to the goal line. This is not a relay race. Credit repair is not a relay race. It's a marathon. And it's a marathon because we are creating legacy. I am setting you up to be the master of what you're doing in the future.
Yes, you are making like all the sense in the world to me. If you didn't know, now you do. You heard it here first on overcoming obstacles. Carol, you do have an event coming up, so please tell us about that. Let's talk about what you got coming up now. I got to say this: our events are on the same day,
What event you have
so
coming up?
we have our annual vision board workshop
Okay.
coming up
Okay.
with a phenomenal black woman. So when I saw your event, I said, "Oh!" So that just led me to my next thought. But I'm gonna let you talk about your
Okay.
event because I definitely want you to promote that, and then I'm gonna tell you what my thought was.
Okay. So I'm gonna tell you, my goal is to do events quarterly, and because I'm a mother, I'm very strategic about the days because my weekends are always on the road with my daughter. So that's why that date was picked, March the 14th. The event is called the Currency Exchange, because the people in the room, I'm finance, all things finances. So what a better name than Currency Exchange? You will be receiving all type of social and financial currency in this event. It's hosted by myself. It's sponsored by First Midwest Bank, Gabriel Briati of Cabrillo Chats. It's also sponsored by Tracy Williams of Ambition, and Sarita Love of Success Junkies. In addition, we are partnered with Thornton Lansing Township so that we can get the community out, and it will be held at the Thornton Lansing Township on 144th and Hosted. There's plenty of parking. You don't have to pay for parking. There will be free giveaways. Myself, what I've decided to do with my team is in that event, I'm going to bless somebody with or two people with financial coaching and credit repair, on Onyx Capital. But we will have Tyson Thompson. I don't know if you're familiar with her, of Carrot Bars. Anything financial and how we're creating multiple streams of income, how we're creating wealth will be in the building. Everything that I do is all finances. You won't have vendors that selling clothes because we need to keep you focused on the financial aspect. It will be from 12 to 4:30. Tickets are on Eventbrite. You could type in the Currency Exchange, Riverdale, Illinois, and you should be able to find it that way. I'm posting it, on Facebook. As the closer we get, I'll be posting more for people to be able to click the link and get tickets.
I'm excited about it. Although I can't attend, I'm sad about that because when I heard about it, I'm like, oh, I'm there. I'm in it. I'm ready. And then I looked at the date. But
That's okay.
what the idea that I had, I said that just simply means we have to collaborate. We have to put something together that we have to organize some type of financial literacy event for PBW for the people that want to come out. We can focus on those specific topics as they pertain to money and finances because so many women they join the group and they say, one of the questions that I ask when someone is joining Phenomenal Black Woman is what is your current struggle? And the only reason I ask that question, some people say none, and I'm like, all praises be to God.
Yeah.
But the only reason I ask that question is because I want to be able to help.
Yes.
I want to be able to bless you. When you're joining Phenomenal Black Woman, I don't want you to just be joining another Facebook group.
Correct.
So I try to create events and I try to create opportunities based on the need.
Yeah.
So when I ask that question, so many women say, my current struggle is trying to start my business, trying to get the resources to start my business, trying to finance my business.
Correct.
We see it every single day. So I know there is a need. So that is why I want to collaborate with you. And we're saying it right here on Facebook Live on this show that we are going to collaborate and put something together.
Okay, thank you. Yes,
because I know as the listeners are listening to you and as they are getting in tune with what we're talking about, it's a need.
It's needed, and even for us as women, but
in general.
I started out, the majority of my clients were men because they're ready to start business. But so many of my men clients have sent so many women, and I appreciate them for that. But even when they finish their process, they're still my clients. They like, no, like you've helped us so much. They can get on the phone and call me, and that's my thing. Like, you have the same mindset, is to help empower our community. Because if we don't do that, and if we don't share our struggles, and a lot of people don't do that, like Are you here
Mhm.
at Lexington Law? Talk about how did they become Lexington Law? Did you have a struggle? Because everything, I'm the product of this company. Like I'm literally product from being broken and having to be rebuilt and do things with a blueprint, revamp, be a better student for my clients, be a better version of me to make sure that everything that I'm doing representing honest capital enterprise and God, because God has called me to this thing. Like I was running from this, and He's like, no, you're an evangelist. You're gonna tell the truth. You're going to go out and cover my people. You've done it. You were burned. You've done it. So, and it's just, I just thank God for the people He's sending. I thank God for the connections to you, because again, I stay behind the scene, but I have so many people on my team, my assistant, all my personal brander. Like these people, are like, no, we need you to get out. We need you out here helping these people because you gonna tell it like it is. You're gonna tell the truth, and you're so passionate about it. And I mean, that's the only way to be. Like we're a product of our own what we do. And it's just like if you had a business. I'm very big on this. Like I have people say, you're real critical. No, I'm not critical. What is the product? And when I hear people in the room say, "Oh, I'm selling this," no, because you don't even know what the product is. In order for you to sell that, what in you made you create this? Did you have something that broke you? Whether it's skin, whether it's finances, whatever that is, I'm always the product. And when I'm the product, I can be a better version, a better steward, a better CEO, a better owner, a better person, a better company for the people. It's always about the people. It's
Because
always about
you're
our clients.
directly connected
Mhm.
to the product or the service, and I totally feel you on that. And I'm feeling the vibe. I'm feeling the passion as you talk about it. So I know, because anybody I have on the show, I want them to be as authentic
Correct.
as
Yes.
they can possibly be, because I'm sharing you with my 5,000 friends.
Amen.
And I share the videos, and because God has blessed me with such an amazing platform,
Yes.
I have just been trying to get as many phenomenal people on as I
Absolutely.
possibly can. Just because if you have a testimony, if you have a business, if you have a foundation or an organization, whatever you have that you are trying to get a little bit more exposure to,
Hmm.
I want to be able to provide that. So I am, and like I say all the time, whenever I have my guests on, I say social media has been good to me.
Yes.
Social media has been good to me. I know a lot of people don't fool with social media, or they say, "Oh, I'm not," I don't. I have to get off. I have to deactivate my page, whatever. But social media has been good to me, and with phenomenal Black women, I have met some of the most amazing
Yes.
people, and I'm just so excited. I just because there's no other way. I can't see it any other way that I would have been able to meet all of the women that I've met.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because I didn't put myself in those circles.
You like me.
I didn't do it.
But God has blessed you. And I want to applaud you, phenomenal woman.
Thank you.
Like I said, I had never met you. We've communicated.
Hmm.
I applaud what you're doing, and then the transparency, because I'm really big. Like I'm very selective of who's around me. I always pray and pray and pray. I have an assistant that prays and prays and prays because I'm just a person that really operates out of integrity because my clients look for that. Like they don't care about if you are $1 million. They want to see that you can give them the results. So I applaud you for reaching out to those women of integrity, those women who are working their businesses, who are not about the bag, as people say, but about the clients and the results. I really applaud those women, and moving forward, even when you said you're doing a vision board, like God just popped in my head, do a financial vision board where we help them understand how to properly line themselves up. The ones who say, I don't know how to get into the business aspect, I teach you that. It's so many steps we miss in it. Like they just want to go for the goal. No. Well, why am I getting denied? Because you forgot about the systems that should have happened before this. It's systems. It takes time. Everybody wants a rush, a relay. It does not happen like that. So that would be do a vision board, a financial vision board. Say, hey, let's talk about all things finance and those women who are trying to get into business, or how do we help you? And I'll give you the tools. I'll tell you what that takes to start it up, and and then work it from there.
Well,
Because there are a
definitely,
lot of things
yes.
missing that when people come to me and say, I'm in business, but you haven't done this stuff. When I ask them for that stuff, what is that? Well, we
How are
can't
you in
get you
business?
$25,000 loans or credit cards when none of this has to be in place. And to show you again, proven strong as now the CEO, the guarantor, the owner of your
And it just reminds me, I guess one of my guilty pleasures on television is reality TV.
company.
So I do watch Black and Crew Chicago, and Charmaine, who is now a radio show host on WGCI.
Okay.
We've met, but I know she wouldn't remember meeting me.
Okay.
But um, she opened up a tattoo shop in the city, and recently on the show, she received. So I guess she did an interview with the Tribune or sometime,
Mm-hmm.
and it came out that she didn't have all of her paperwork in place.
Is this okay? So is she on WGCI
She is on
or
WGCI.
1390? Because
WGCI.
because I just was interviewed by Charmaine on 1390.
I think that might be a different
Okay.
Charmaine. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but this young lady, she started out because Ryan Henry owns Nine Mag, which is a
Okay.
tattoo
Right.
shop.
My
So she
daughter.
was working with Nine Mag, and so then I guess she got displaced from them and decided that she was gonna open her own. But like the paperwork, the business aspect of it was not in order.
And I tell like people like I teach you how to start your business. Okay, that's fine, but did you teach them the systems and tools that need to happen first? Like so many people come to me and be like, I have an EIN number, I have a bank statement, but are you registered with your state? Oh, well, I didn't know I was supposed to do that. Are you setting yourself up? Do you have, when I say systems, I don't want you putting it on my application for $500,000 at Gmail.
Yes. I'm
You know what I'm saying?
sorry.
So, but people don't
Yes,
know that,
yes.
and it's nothing wrong with that. But if you're going to connect yourself or give your money to somebody, help build your business, or not even say build it, help you give you the tools to get started.
Sorry.
If they're not asking you about systems, or you, I want you guys to know. If you're doing that, ask them, "What about my systems?" and see what they respond. See if they even know what you're talking about when you say systems, because there are systems that have to happen. I'm gonna give another free game tool right here, because even in the name of your business, we just throw all these cute names out. Guess what? You've set yourself up to be a high risk business for credit.
Hmm.
If you're a tobacco company and you put tobacco in there, tobacco companies are high risk. Consulting firms, credit firms, you have automatically set yourself up to be denied on credit applications because your name of your company is a high risk company to the people who are lending you money. So when I say systems, they need to be talking about all of this stuff, like literally from the
See,
basics.
we might have to open this event up to guys too. Like I know the fellas probably like you do everything for the ladies. We might have to open this event up to everybody because it seems like Carol, you're gonna give everybody some information that is truly necessary. But before we do get out of
Yeah.
here, please let everybody know how they can find you on social media or reach out to you for your services.
Okay, I'm on Instagram. It's Onyx underscore capital underscore enterprise, ENTERPRISE. I'm on Facebook at Onyx Capital Enterprise Inc. My You can reach me directly at Carol at Carol Terrell. That's TERRELL.com. And my business website for Onyx Capital. If you want a free consult, free 15-minute consult, you go to www.onyxcapitalenterprise.com. There's a sign up button. You're just signing up to be able to connect with me to talk about what your needs are and then see if we're fit moving forward.
I love it. I love it. Anyone that is interested in me, or if you're watching and you want to connect with me and ask me about Carol, definitely follow me on Facebook at Jada Tennille James, or please visit my website www.jadatjames.com. If you have not yet registered for PBW's annual Vision Board Workshop, please do so today. The link to register is on my page. If you are interested in Carol's event, please reach out on social media. It's not about competing because when you're blessing God's people, you have nothing or no one to be concerned about. Carol and I are going to definitely be coming with you,
Yes.
coming to you with an amazing event at which we will both be present and working
Yes.
together to help you all discover the phenomenal within. I want to thank my guest today, Mrs. Carol Terrell, for your information, your inspiration.
Thank you.
We're going to be working together. I want to thank you for hanging out with me for another episode of Overcoming Obstacles with Jada Neil James here on Intellectual Radio. And remember that together we can overcome anything.